Let's talk about love bombing. Love bombing can be intense. It can feel like you get a little high from it. It can also be very confusing. So love bombing is basically a manipulative tactic where someone showers another person with excessive affection, attention, grand gestures very early in a relationship. And the goal is to quickly establish emotional dependence and control. So think of it as bombing you with love and affection, and it can leave the recipient feeling overwhelmed, even swept off their feet, right? Feeling like, oh my God, I've never felt this before. It can be an intense whirlwind, and it can be very difficult to resist or question at first. The love bomber often presents themselves as just like the perfect partner, giving you an abundance of compliments, gifts, and what seems like unconditional love. However, it's super important to recognize that love bombing is not healthy and it's not a genuine display of love. It can't be so early in a relationship. It can't be. It's a strategy used by manipulative individuals, whether consciously or unconsciously, to gain control and power over their partners. So by overwhelming you with love and attention, it creates a sense of emotional dependency, and it also diminishes your ability to reflect and think for yourself because you're being so overwhelmed with their gestures and their emotions. It's a big red flag. So it's important to be cautious of the signs of if you're being love bombed. It can feel exhilarating and it can feel so good to have somebody say all those things to you and do all those things, but recognize that it is a manipulation. So a key characteristic of love bombing is the rapid pace at which the relationship progresses. The love bomber may push for immediate commitment, declare their undying love, say that they're the only person in the world that could love you like this, right? It creates a sense of urgency to solidify that, lock it down, right? And this intensity can be overwhelming, and it makes it impossible for you to think for yourself, right? Which is the strategy. Another sign is the imbalance of power and control. So love bombers often want to have dominance in the relationship, isolate you from your support system, dictate your actions and decisions. They may become possessive and exhibit some controlling behaviors. And but it's overwhelmed, you're overwhelmed by all the gestures and the love. So it makes it harder to see the underlying motives, right? So it's just super important that you understand when this is happening. So it's important to trust your instincts and take a step back if you feel like this may be happening. Maintain healthy boundaries, continue to communicate with your friends and ask for their perspective. If your friends or your family is, well, here's the thing. If you establish boundaries and you sort of say, hey, this is a lot, and you ask for somebody to back off and they don't, or they act very offended that you would ever ask for such a thing, that's a red flag that you're being love bombed. And the love bombing is a strategy to control and dominate the relationship and you. So it's important to seek boundaries and set boundaries. It's important to see if that person will respect those boundaries. And if they're not, it's important for you to continue to connect with your friends and family to help you leave that relationship, right? Prioritize your emotional well-being, prioritize connection with your family and friends. That should never, ever have to go away for you to be in a relationship. You should never have to choose between your partner and your friends and family. Of course, if you are choosing, you don't let, your friends and family have been abusive to you in the past in some way, that's different. But what I'm talking about is when you meet somebody that's love bombing you, but at the same time, they're saying, I don't think your friends really care about you, and they're making you question your friends and family. That is a tactic to pull you away from the herd, isolate you. So I hope this has been helpful. Have you ever experienced love bombing? Have you ever experienced this kind of behavior? What did it lead to in your relationship? I would love to hear more in the comments. Hope this has been helpful.